drivers for programs, innovations for programs, are institutional. Covenant University will want to innovate its programs based on institutional vision at the national level too, at regional level. Now we're talking about Agenda 2063. Innovations in programs are also stimulated by what we need contemporarily and what will be our future needs. It's also propelled by political decisions and emerging environmental forces. We are looking at innovations in programs induced by climate change, by COVID-19 environment. So what are the examples of such innovations? Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, there are a handful of them. Artificial intelligence. We had a wonderful presentation by John Obide this morning. Artificial intelligence, these are examples currently on within the Nigeria space and the Africa space. Artificial intelligence, we have as innovative programs, robotics, data analytics, nanotechnology, cloud computing, and STEAM. So that's STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, with an A inserted in it, meaning that science and technology, maths, you can't stand alone. You have to embed humanities. That's the arts in there. So what are the practical examples of such innovations? Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, in a few months from now, by December of this year, we are going to have a brand new, revitalized, re-engineered curriculum. You find a lot of innovation in the curriculum by the National Universities Commission. And also, we're going to have, it's going to be escalated, the African quality standards. That's at the regional level. What about innovations in services? What are the drivers? Accountability. Students want to get value for their money. The parents, we send our students to school. We must get value for our money. The middle society, larger society, the same. And there's the need to produce graduates with sound character. What are these stimuli for these innovations? These innovations, what would be ranking? We want to be better ranked. So we want to improve our services. I want to have better public perception. Now, what are the things that are propelling this? The need to, you see, there's increasing resource constraints. I'll talk about this towards the close. Aside from collateral impact of COVID-19, many of the 76 private universities in Nigeria today are not able to financially survive. And so they have to be innovative, they have to be creative in the services that they deliver. So examples will include the delivery or deployment of open and distance learning services, which we are having almost globally. And then what examples can I give as practical? There's increases of technology for teaching, for learning, for research. In Covenant University, I'm very proud of this university. If I had the opportunity of going back to school again at Covenant University, I could go. But by the way, my children have attended, and they have grandchildren too, who will also attend Covenant University. Covenant University has a center of excellence. It couldn't have earned that center of excellence if it was not innovative in service delivery. And of course, we have it reflected in the AUC revitalization agenda. What about technology? Technology is driven by the response to emerging technologies and to an increasingly interconnected world. I want to break new grounds in teaching and research. So that's the stimulus at lower cost. The appetite for and access for our students to new technologies is increasing. And there's a desire to be part of the producer. John Obidi said this very, very clearly. You see, we do not want only to be consumers of the technology in the global community. We want also to be producers and be properly recognized. There are several innovations that are ongoing. We had quite a few this morning, and I'm sure several will come up later, about Africans authoring technologies that are deployed for our education delivery system in Africa. What about funding? I'm giving summary now, and I'll go to the details, but I assure you in my assigned 20 minutes, I'll be done. Funding, there is decreasing, dwindling revenue institutionally, nationally, regionally. We are in a depression globally. So innovation, you have to be innovative. You have to be innovative in seeking, in getting increased revenue. There's greater demand now for value for money. I'm sending my child to school, to a university, and I pay through my nose to make that happen. And look, my friend, you got to give me value for money. So you have to be innovative in funding. This prepared by the reduced unit cost. See, the unit cost of university education that we normally compute at NUC should lower on account of the impact of technology. You are using technology to deliver to many more people, so unit cost should come down. It's exemplified by performance-based funding models. The African Association of African Universities has a book which I can share with participants. It's called Models for Sustainable Funding of Universities in Africa. And we have quite a number of performance funding models in our region. Hey, we've done with the, if you like, executive summary. So where are we in higher education in Africa? I am not one to badmouth Africa. This is because, as our daddy, the Chancellor, said in the morning, we have great things happening in the continent. Many of compatriots, when they go and they say, oh, Africa, everything is bad, they're alive. Look, some people who are saying, if you see the farm, your father's farm, and you're not seeing the other farms, you say your father's farm is the best or the worst. Humbly saying, the president of the Global University Network for Innovation, GUNI. I also chair a global network of quality assurance people. So I see the farms, if you like, the systems in other countries. And I'll be able to tell you that we don't represent the worst case scenario on all of these indicators. Access, we're improving steadily. Quality is dim. But go to the US, go to the UK, go to Germany. Everybody will tell you about depressing quality. But we have huge potential to be able to improve. Relevance, we can do better. Efficiency, we can work harder. This is like a report card of somebody in primary, in basic 2 or GS3 to the parents. What are the things, the annotations of the teacher? Equity is impressive. Now let's move on to innovations that are appearing in the horizon. I'm going to go national and go continental. Let's look at the national. Chancellor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have a blueprint on the rapid revitalization of university education in Nigeria, where all of these innovations are documented and prescribed. Started 2019, going on to 2023, there will be a rollover. What are those innovations? We have innovations documented. We call it the Rashid Revolution, because my friend and brother, who is the current Executive Secretary of the National University Commission, is the driver of these innovations and the revitalization agenda. We have innovations regarding to access to university education. There are several models that have been prescribed and have been pursued. Curriculum re-engineering, modernizing and maintaining facilities, and the rest that you can see on the screen. Innovations are going on there. Innovations in improving governance. There are challenges with governance in our higher education system in Nigeria. When I say higher education system, we have universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, governance challenges everywhere. Oh, academic corruption. Oh, a lot going on there. But there are innovations that are coming up to tackle academic corruption. And ladies and gentlemen, on the rest that you can see on this screen. 40 years ago, I started on a journey where we try to look at the methodology for teaching science, methodology for teaching different school subjects that are culturally compliant with the African setting. Because what you find is that you get researchers looking at Western models and trying out these Western models, and they do not fit. There's no model performance fit with the African setting. So after a 40-year investigation, we then came up with this cultural, techno, contextual approach that will let African students at all levels break barriers to learning. Now let's look at continental innovations. Quite a lot of these are happening, ladies and gentlemen. I told you about the Africa standard guides for quality assurance. We have the African quality rating mechanism. These are innovations within the Africa we want agenda. You know, I started by letting you see what the Africa Union Agenda 2063 is, the first of it. So all of these are innovations coming out from these from the overall framework. You have the register, you have the Addis Convention for academic mobility, for student mobility, and all of that, the ACA initiative, you have the CESA Agenda 2063. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 weeks ago, the African Union decided to implement a recommendation that we made in 2014. 6 years ago, I was humbly contracted by the African Union Commission, along with the European, to carry out the feasibility study on all of these initiatives and the establishment of the Continental Accreditation Agency. I'm glad to tell you that we now have this thing coming up, Continental Accreditation Agency. It's like AUC at the Africa regional level. So a program like BSc, Economics of Covenant, you can decide to take AUC accreditation. Of course, you must do that. But you can also elect to take an international accreditation under this agency. I've been asked to co-chair the team that's going to set up this agency. So let me make some recommendations. One is that, and I'm echoing our Chancellor in his address, self-help, ladies and gentlemen, is the best help. By the way, it is Africa we want, not the Africa they want, not the Africa that the Europeans or the Americans want, is the Africa we want. So what does that mean? It means that we have to look inward for innovating in our education and be sensitive to the needs of Africa. We need to have homegrown solutions to our teaching, homegrown solutions to our research and community service challenges. More importantly, we have to put our money where our mouth is. By going beyond, look, if you look at this Agenda 2063, which we have been examining for God knows how long, SDGs, there are action plans in theory. The African government, as the Chancellor said today, should prioritize education, especially basic education, and take us off. We're on a very useless list of regions with the highest out-of-school children, highest literacy rate. We must come out of that list through our government, putting the money where the mouth is and prioritizing education. We must develop and implement innovative programs that will address our human security challenges. Illiteracy, plenty here. Poverty, now here. Health security, food security, unemployment, and all that. We must implement innovative challenges for tackling them. We must rethink the funding models. There are 5 recommendations I'm making here. The 5th one is that we must battle corruption. I've not had people talk much about it. But that is what is taking all this money that we're saying they should put money where the mouth is. Instead of putting money where the mouth is, they are chopping the money, putting the money in their mouths, literally. So we must battle corruption so that funds can be freed for innovations. And we must enforce prudence in managing our resources. And those that are doing well in creatively generating revenue, they must be incentivized. So what's my recommendation, or what agenda do I propose for Covenant University? To be globally recognized as a model for innovations in higher education. I have a few of this. Now, we have an active vice chancellor in, we don't have a substantive vice chancellor and all of that. I like to propose, I don't know whether you have this going, but if you have it going, you may wish to tweak it a little bit. That is, we should have a biennial, that's every 2 years, every other year. What you call, not be say Covenant University, it won't be model for innovation. So let's have a Covenant University Africa, sorry, we should have Africa here, University. Covenant University Africa Regional Research and Innovation in Higher Education Fair. In 2002, 18 years ago, as Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, we did set up the Nigerian Universities fair, science fair, research and development fair, new residence. And it's going on well. It has helped to stimulate innovations. So if Covenant University is committed to stimulating innovations in higher education, you should put this in place. And for want of an acronym, you put C, that's what C, RE Health. Covenant University, just like you have ICADI, Covenant University, Africa Regional Research and Innovation in Higher Education Fair for 2022. That's what I'm proposing. It doesn't need to be on site. It can be both on site and virtual. And then, like John Obidi said, we must intensify global digital marketing of innovative practice. We have a lot going on in Covenant University by members of that community. So we must intensify our global marketing. Last but one agenda item. We meet every year for this ICADI, every 5 years. I have not seen, maybe I didn't attend every session, but I've not seen when the recommendations of the previous ICADI are tracked. I will get a feedback to say this recommendation that we made, this country implemented it, or this region implemented it. My suggestion here is that we must track and report levels of implementation of ICADI at every ICADI event. The last one, ladies and gentlemen, we have this Africa Union's Agenda 2063, and they have monitoring and evaluation plan within it. What I think, or what I'm recommending, is that Covenant University should establish a desk for monitoring the implementation of that Agenda 2063. It's just like any of these NGOs, monitoring transparency, monitoring corruption, monitoring this. So Covenant University, I'm recommending that you establish a desk for doing this. And then you can derive an index for ranking countries in the implementation of the agenda. I'd like to thank you, and God bless us all.
I am not surprised. In fact, we are not surprised. We would have been surprised if we never had the kind of meal that we are having this afternoon from one of the brightest in Africa, Professor Okebukola. So we'd like to deeply appreciate you. You have been a mentor to many of us, and we are still there. I've listened very carefully. Like I said in the morning, today is my first official baptism as the acting Vice Chancellor. And I'm really, I've gotten a lot of things to do. I've gotten all the recommendations that Professor Okebukola has given us, and I pledge that we're going to be taking this on board, and then we'll do the due diligence by taking it through our board and then see how this will come up. We deeply appreciate you for all the love you normally have for this university. Many times we listen to you. You speak as really you are part of us. And I've also listened to you even outside, even when we are not here, doing the same thing. Always covenant. Even when you are the chair of several other universities in this country. We like to appreciate you. And so personally, I would like to also be closely in touch so that I can tap from the wisdom that I know is there with you. Thank you so much. Thank you for always being part of our system. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.